Right, and we are back with round 3, trial number 1 for Eclipse versus Misery on Charities of the Fog. Really excited for this one as we are going to be seeing a nurse on Mount Ormond Resort, and with lethal Zeno, the nurse, getting some very early hits and a 2-tap here on the Nia. Really strong start to say the least, and we are going to be seeing a little bit of agitation in addition to a corrupted invention, which is by far already over. We are going to see a hook on the Scourge Hook Pain Resonance here. That is 25% off the most progressed gen. Honestly, with how quick that hook was, it's possible that they may have not gotten the full value of Scourge Hook and gotten less than 25% regression. That being said, we'd see a Felix off in the distance, and looks like we are going to get the hit there as Felix is going to make their way over towards Shaq. However, Nurse, not wanting to go for the chase, will instead misfire a blink on the hill there, and looks like they are going to go back to the unhook to try and progress this survivor to second stage. That being said, no sign of any survivors coming in for a unhook. Mind you, with the new unhook mechanic, survivors are no longer able to get grabbed off them, so you can send a survivor in for a 1-for-1 trade. We did see what looked to be a Feng Min or Claudette coming in, and there's the Claudette. Nurse trying to body block Claudette with the fake, and there's the 1-for-1 trade. That will be the second hook, no progression for the Nia. That is huge to say the least, as that does end up wasting a little bit of time. That being said, Nia now in chase with the nurse, as the nurse wants to get them to second stage and potentially get them out the game as quickly as possible. And sure enough, there's it down. No off the record, no BT, no nothing, as the first gen does pop off for these survivors. Keep in mind, gens are important not just for escape, but the potential for a tiebreaker. However, we will see Nia going back to this hook, and Claudette, I imagine, to a Scourge Hook not too far away though. Looks like the nurse, content with the slug, will actually go up to main, searching around for another survivor, whether that be the Felix or otherwise, and they find the Feng Min. Really good find there, to say the least. Felix kind of in a desperate position, as they'll need to get the pickup either on the Claudette or to get the unhook on the Nia. That being said, there's the pickup on the Claudette. Nurse going for the blink. Claudette kind of boxed out here. 30 seconds left on the unhook, but Feng Min will end up getting it. That being said, Nia with the BT hit will take the hit and run. Feng Min coming in for the body block, but Nurse kind of turning around just in the nick of time to see them. And Nia going to be sticking to edge map now, as their job is to only extend this chase as much as possible. A 3v1 at 4 gens up is not the place you want to be if you are these survivors, as Nurse will get the pickup and the hook with agitation, confirming the first kill and 3 hooks here in trial number 1 of round 3. That being said, I will say survivors in a difficult position, but they are not out of it yet. If Eclipse has shown us anything, they are resilient. And I'm excited to see what we have in store. As Nurse here, going to be finding the Claudette. Do want to remind everyone here today, as we are doing Charities of the Fog, as the second gen is completed. If you guys do want to see a different killer for round 4, consider donating $25 to randomize the 4th killer in the killer pool. Right now, we're looking at Nurse on Ormond for round 4 as well, if you do not get a $5 or $25 donation. So if that is something that you are considering, definitely feel free to do that now before we seed round 4 at the end of trial number 2 of this match. That being said, Claudette takes the hit and will go down to Zeno the nurse. Really strong blinks here, to say the least. This will be the 4th hook here. 2 gens completed. Survivors need another gen ASAP. However, Nurse has 3 Scourge Hook Pain Resonance stacks in their pocket as we speak. So really strong position for the nurse, as we do see another Scourge Hook. Good news for the survivors, we did not see this gen, which barely has a cylinder of progress hit by it, meaning that they might just have another gen with some more progress currently in the works out there. I mean, it is possible, seeing in chat people talking about Nurse being the 2 last picks because of the randomization. You know, the pool is big, but Nurse lucking out here as we had a multiple number of randomizations. And we do see a 3rd gen popping off for these survivors. Feng Min, though. Okay, I was like wondering what the Nurse was doing. I think they're going for like a reverse blink here. Not really positioning themselves to blink onto the Feng Min. Instead, cutting off the survivor here. Scratch marks heading towards the unhook. That there is the Felix. 3 gens in is a good spot. As we say all the time when it comes to S tiers, it's not about how many escapes you get, but how many gens you complete. That being said, Feng Min has about 5, maybe 10 seconds to get the unhook here. Let's see if they get it, but they do not. The entity is summoned, and they do progress to 2nd stage. Felix now with a hit as well, and looks like Nurse will be going back towards the unhook here, potentially to get the tumble out here. But no sign of Feng Min, no unhook either. Nothing really to stop the Nurse from continuing to pressure the Felix here, though they have seemed to have left the area. Though no, they're in main. Nurse finds them. That is the worst possible scenario here for the Felix, as the Nurse does misfire, but gets the 2nd blink and the down to boot. Feng Min in a desperate position, but they do complete a 4th gen. So we saw there what the Feng Min was doing all the while. Their job, they realized it's looking like a 4K. Their job was simply just complete that generator. Now, mind you, we have not seen a Deli. We have not seen Unbreakable. There is a potential for the Felix to have those perks. We'll have to wait and see, though, as Feng Min does take a hit here, and looks like we will see the down with the potential for a 4K here. That being said, Felix could potentially still escape via the hatch if RNG is in their favor. Mind you, Feng Min is going to be put on the hook here. Now, in normal CoTF rules, you are not encouraged to 4%, but this is DVD CC or CoTF CC rules. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think survivors could 4% here if they wanted to. Now, mind you, as the title would suggest, it is only a 4% chance of getting the unhook, but it still is not the wrong possibility and does progress things towards the hatch being revealed and open. That being said, Nurse looking around, no 4% from the Feng Min, and Felix will be found. Now, there's the possibility that Felix does have a deliverance in hand, and if so, that could be why the Feng Min is currently holding on. That being said, Felix here will get hooked. Xeno in a very strong position, to say the least. No unhook from the Feng Min incoming, unless it's going to happen at the very last moment. But I imagine they would have probably done so when the Felix was picked up. Just mere seconds away, and there's the progression to 2nd stage for the Feng Min, leaving just 3 hook stages for this trial before the Nurse does secure the 4K 12 hook here in trial 1, meaning that Eclipse's Nurse will need to secure 12 hook stages at 4 gens or less. 3 gens or less in order to secure a win, but 4 gens or less in order to secure the tie. So it's not the wrong possibility, but definitely an uphill battle here for this Nurse. That being said, we are going to go for a quick break as we do get that next lobby set up. But before we do want to remind everyone here today that you, yes, you the viewers, are our sponsors. So that as they watch, the bits they tip, all the subs they buy, and of course on the Rogue Energy you buy using the code COTF. All right, and we are back for trial number 2, round number 3. Misery versus Eclipse, and Eclipse's killer will be killing against Misery's survivor team. And I believe I said they were looking for a 12 hook at 4 gens to tie and at 3 gens or less to win. So we'll have to wait and see what comes from Obi. We have seen play Nurse before today, and they do play Nurse rather well. That being said, Zarina taking an early hit here, trying not to go down, but the Zarina going down right underneath the hook here. And looks like we will see that insta-hook. And no Scourge Hook Pain Residence, though we do know of a Corrupt Intervention, which has since ended. And Nurse with a early cancellation on that blink, potentially wanting to go back for this gen here. And sure enough, there's the kick, and a pop goes the Weasel. Reassurance on the Zarina from the Ada, it would look like, extending that hook stage that much longer. Nurse may have found a new tunnel out target, as you want that reassurance gone, and gone quick if at all possible. That being said, Nurse gonna go back to the hook, and looks like things have paused for quite some time, so still around like 20-25 seconds left on that hook stage before they do progress, allowing these survivors to work on gens just a little bit longer. And since they don't need to send 2 survivors to the unhook, this is huge to say the least. Looks like reassurance has since ended though, and we will see that timer ticking down with about 30 seconds or so left until they do progress to second stage. Right now, the Ace and the Feng Min were the only 2 healthy survivors, though Ada now healthy as well, and Nurse with a misfire there is going to allow the Feng Min to get the unhook. Really strong plays here by the survivor, hitting this arena again, potentially going for the tunnel out. Mind you though, Ada with that reassurance can extend things quite significantly, allowing these survivors to go off and work on these gens all the while. So we'll have to wait and see what the game plan is here, but Nurse doing a good job just kind of navigating that tile there before dropping the Zarina to the ground once again. Let's see if there is a decisive strike in hand. No decisive strike, as Nurse will drag them further out. Overall, really well played here by the Nurse, and looks like, once again, no idea what this 4th perk is, as 2nd gen is completed. We know about Agitation, we've seen that now. Corrupt Intervention, pop goes the Weasel. The 4th perk still a little bit of an unknown, as 3 gens now completed. The win condition is here. The Nurse needs to get a 4K at this point in time, lest they do lose out on it, and instead will be at the tie condition if 1 more gen is completed. That being said, we do see the unhook and a for the people on the Zarina from the Ada. Nurse thinking about going back to the unhook and potentially finding the Zarina and tunneling her out. Otherwise, the Ada would be a good find, as they would be 1 health state away from being put up on the hook. That being said, Nurse does find the Ada. Ada going to the edge map here, seeing if they can use that to their advantage, but will end up going down. So really good find here from the Nurse, to say the least. And as a reminder, guys, we currently still have Nurse and Mount Ormond Resort here for round number 4. A $5 donation to Stream for a Cause will randomize the map, and a $25 donation will randomize the killer, in case you players do not want to play against the Nurse, or you viewers want to see something a little extra spicy. That being said though, we do see the 4th perk revealed as Scourge Hook Pain Residence, which did regress the most progressed gen by 25%. That said, looks like the Nurse has their eyes set on the Ace here, who will be cut off from the unhook on the Ada. Mind you, Fangman's still injured, and Zarina not the one who wants to be unhooking right now, as they are 1 hook away from being sent back to the campfire via the entity. Well, we'll have to wait and see who comes in momentarily, as there will be no reassurance here for the Ada. An unfortunate miss there by the Nurse, but Ace gonna make their way to the unhook, will successfully get it. This will not be a clear 1-for-1 trade, and the 4th gen popping off. You're now at the tie condition, the win condition, no longer within Eclipse's grasp. Instead, they now need to get the 4K right here, right now, in order to secure the tie condition. If 1 more gen is completed, these survivors and Team Misery will walk away victorious here in round number 3. Mind you, One big change that I think I may have mentioned, but in case I didn't, I do want to note about CoTFCC and our charity tournaments in comparison to DBDCC. We are hosting these as Swiss-style tournaments, meaning that you are not eliminated in the initial rounds. However, it will have a cut to top 8, which those matches for those 4 rounds will in fact be single elimination. So something to keep in mind in the grand scheme of things. Zarina, though, getting caught out, will get down underneath the pallet. Nurse now having to be a little bit concerned about picking them up. They look around and do not see any survivors. No footsteps either, but there's the 5th generator. That is exactly what these survivors needed, and Misery will walk away victorious here in round number 3. So fantastic job by Misery. That being said, and as I mentioned, Eclipse is not out of it yet, as they will be able to walk away and potentially make the top 8. Top 4 teams receive prizing here today, so do keep that in mind. That being said, Ace will go down, and looks like this could potentially be a 2K here for the Nurse for what it's worth. However, I imagine the X-Case will be opened here in just a little bit. However, this will be Ace's first hook and a potential for a deliverance. Mind you, no offerings here today, so they do not know where the hatch is. Nurse, sensing that something might be up, will go back to the hook just in case we do see the Ace deli off, but looks like that will not be happening as their 2 survivor teammates will abandon them, feeding them to the entity. So GG, well played to both teams, and once again, congratulations to Misery, walking away victorious here in round number 3. With that being said, we will be getting set up for round 4 now.